Mishnah in the fifth parak of Sukkah. Anyone who didn't see the happiness of the drawing of the water, they didn't see happiness in their lives. Now, it's a strange thing to say. I mean, I've eaten a cream donut before. My team won the Super Bowl. I had Simcha. How can you tell me I've never seen Simcha in my life? So, there's two types of libations in the Beis Hamikdash. You have the wine libations, you have the water libations. And the difference between the water and the wine is that wine, you always make a bracha. There's always the time, there's always the flavor, there's always the pleasure from drinking wine. However, when it comes to water, the Iker Din is that only when you're thirsty, when you have it when you're thirst for the water, then you drink the water, and that quenching of the thirst gives you a pleasure. Therefore, you make a bracha. But otherwise, since the water doesn't have a flavor, doesn't have a tam, so therefore you don't make a bracha. So therefore, there's two types of avodah. The avodah of wine, the wine libations, is where you understand it has the flavor, I get it, it's beautiful, it's great, and you get a simcha from that avodah. And that avodah, at simcha, it's like the wine. However, the simcha, there's another type of avodah. That's the avodah of the water. The water doesn't have any tam. So there's a level of Kabbalah, a level of that goes beyond. It goes beyond the das. It goes beyond what I understand. So like Naseh v'nishma, the Naseh comes, I'll just do it even though I don't get it, and then the Nishma comes afterwards, which is where I can enter into my seichel and I can understand it. But there's a level of avodah that goes beyond what I can understand, and therefore has no value, has no tam, has no value, has no tam, has no flavor. So therefore, that what it's saying is that the simcha of that avodah is greater than the simcha of the things in which you understand. So therefore, when you get the pleasures of this world and get the pleasures that make sense, that get the pleasures of that's a geschmack. When you get those pleasures, that is only a lower level pleasure. And even though you get the pleasure and you think that's really good, there's another level that goes beyond it, and that level beyond it is it goes beyond the tam v'das, which is feed into a lot of the problems of the society today, where they're just following the hedonistic pleasures, and then it's just, well, it just doesn't make me happy, and I've made the money, I've got everything which society is telling me to get, and I'm just not happy, because that's not simcha. So the Mishnah is saying that unless you've had the simcha of lamala mitam v'das, therefore the simcha of tam v'das will not have any pleasure, and you've never seen simcha in your life, and therefore all these hedonistic pleasures which you're getting, that's not going to do anything for you, because there's a greater pleasure which goes beyond. So just like Naseh v'nishma, the Naseh comes first, so too on Sukkos, the Rambam holds that Ibidi Evet, if you were to do the Nisach HaMayim, if you did the water libations at nighttime, even the first night you're Yoitz Ibidi Evet, that even though it should be with the Korban, that the wine is connected to the Korban. It's like in the world of man, because again the wine has the flavor, but the water is not connected like the wine libations to a Korban, and therefore if you do it at nighttime, even though you can bring a Korban, if you brought the wine libations, it would be kosher. So again, it's not as connected to man, it's more in the realms of God, and that's why there's no flavor to the water. So therefore you can do the water libations before you do the wine libations. So you also have the aspect of Naseh v'nishma in there, where the Naseh has to come first, and then through that, once you have that simcha, once you connected to a level that goes beyond what I understand and what I want and what I say. So you have a Kabbalah. You say, do this because the Torah told me to, even though it doesn't make any sense, and I can't make it work. It's that Eino Ed Levado, because Baal Shem Tov says it, because the Midrash says so. However, I got hit in the head, and therefore I'm not sure if that was God hitting me or the wall was hitting me. Then you can, once you have that Kabbalah, the Eino Mevado, then you can understand it on a das level. And then if you get the Simcha, when you understand the process of Eino Levado on a Seichel level, that the fact that you've had it already from a Kabbalah, so now you'll get a higher level of Simcha in the Seichel when you understand the matter. That the Simcha will be amplified in the Seichel when you first. So the Naseh you will do, even though you don't understand it, that there's a simcha in there, and that is a great simcha. But that also falls into a simcha in the nishma, that when you do the avodah of the yayin after the avodah of the mayim, so therefore you even get a greater simcha in that. The simcha specifically comes out at Sukkos, because we've gone through the renewal process coming after the destruction of the temple at Tisha B'Av. Then we're building a new relationship. And that relationship comes to the point at Rosh Hashanah. Because why are you makabel and God again as your king? You makabel him last year because it's a brand new relationship. So that is the Kedushin, you have Yom Kippur being the Nesuyin, and then you have the Sheva Brachos, which is the Sukkah. So therefore, that is the time of the Simcha, and there's two types of Simcha. So to tap in, if you don't tap into the Mayim Simcha, therefore even your Yayin Simcha will be blemished.